Pepper says I escaped outside so I could help Mommy in the garden too. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. For today, I want to talk about gardening and how it can get expensive really fast. And this year, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to challenge myself to still have a beautiful garden frugally, using the pots and garden decor that I already have, because I felt like I didn't have to go into debt to have a beautiful garden this season to enjoy, because I love gardening and it brings me so much happiness. So, this episode is all about reusing what we have to create a beautiful garden. It was a beautiful day on Mother's Day. And for Mother's Day and also my birthday, I had asked for flowers instead of gifts. Now, my parents were very generous to give me a nice amount of money to go to the nursery and purchase flowers instead of bringing physical items. And there's Peppy staring at us. But I was grateful that I was able to buy all my annuals that I love without using money from our bank accounts. Now, this is the state of it last year. Some things didn't go back into the shed. These hanging baskets, they were actually birthday gifts from a few weeks before. And a pot with a hosta trying to survive. My wind chimes from last year. This pot broke because I didn't put it away in the back shed. These are my hydrangeas, some hanging baskets from last year. Yeah, we didn't put stuff away, so it's okay. We're going to work with what we have. This is the semicircle right in the corner of the house, following with my rhododendron bushes, and on the other side are my knockout roses. I'll always suggest having perennial flowers because it's a bloom that comes up every year. Now, what motivated me to create this video was when I was in Hobby Lobby a couple days later, picking out a birthday gift for my mom. And I just loved all the garden decor they had. I could feel myself being triggered, wanting to buy the new things because it was bright, it was beautiful. I loved it, and the dopamine was pumping by all the beautiful colors. I wanted to bring it home, but I knew that I was on a budget and that I can't just sit here and buy all new decor when there is decor at home. And I knew by the time I'd got home, the dopamine high from the shopper's high would be long gone. So I started with what I already had. I loved this purple pot. It sat out all winter and she actually looks pretty good. So I was going to reuse her because she was colorful. And what I'm going to do is, believe it or not, I am going to reuse a lot of dirt. Now, I have some potting soil here from last year that's fine. There was 2 bags that I didn't finish out. So what I do for the bottom is that I put the old dirt on the bottom from last year and then use the newer potting soil for the top where the flowers are. And of course, I'm just gently opening up the bottoms so that way the roots can start to spread out and putting them into the pot. Now, these are pansies. They started dying, and I did not want my birthday presents from April to start dying on me. So I can save them. They're going to be okay. You'll see. In a couple of days after we water them, they're going to pipe up and look so much better. But it was important for me to make sure that I wasn't going to forget about it or procrastinate it, even though the weather has not been our friend. When there was a sunny day, I was making sure that I was out there taking care of this. And just a few days later, after we watered her, she rerooted and now she's back to life. And I love how these look because these are 2 pots that were just sitting on my porch from last year. Now, for Mother's Day, I did ask for hanging pots instead of actual gifts. So immediately I took them outside so that I could hang them on the shepherd hooks that I already have. And this hanging basket, she's going to go on the shepherd's hook on the corner here. And that is remnants of last year's basket. But that's okay. I'm not going to toss it out yet because I will use that dirt as a filler. But in the meantime, we're going to hang this up and enjoy my Mother's Day presents. Now let's move to the semicircle in the front. And I normally put calabracoa flowers in there because they spread over time. So it fills up the space. So I don't need as many flowers to make it look as vibrant. And as we're planting them, let's talk about gardening and the expenses that come with this hobby. You have to buy seeds and flowers. Now I prefer to buy the flowers from a nursery that's local to us. That's why I asked for my birthday for cash so that I can buy the flowers for them, and for Mother's Day, hanging basket plants so that I can enjoy it. I thought this idea was a win-win because instead of using that money to buy me more physical items that will be in my house and stay in my house, I thought this was the better option so that I can still enjoy my presents. Now, the second expense that I find is dirt, potting soil, and mulch, which I already have potting soil from last year. I already have plenty of dirt, but I don't have mulch. And I'm debating on whether I should buy mulch this year or not. But let's continue focusing on the pots because that is another expense that we have. And that is new pots and new garden decor. And the focus is that we're going to use this, even though it looks like a little squirrel had a little fun making a little nibble in there. That's okay. I think the theme that we're going for this year is shabby chic. Yeah, let's go with that. A 20-year-old theme of shabby chic. Things are old. Things look distressed and lived in and used. And you know what? I love it because it's still romantic and pretty. And I'm also using up all the dirt that I already have because the focus here is on saving money. Now, I have something to go inside of that, but it's in the back. So we'll have to get the stuff from the back shed out. Now, this piece caught my eye first. This is from last year, so we're going to reuse it. I love this piece, and I have the perfect flowers to go in here because I love these petunias. They have these little like sparkles in them, like little starbursts, and it just reminds me of glitter. So of course, we're going to plant them in here because I think it's going to look beautiful. Again, using all the old dirt from last year's hanging pots and pots. There's nothing wrong with this dirt to put it on the bottom as a filler. I've been doing that for 15 years and my flowers have always bloomed beautifully. Now, on yard sale day, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I decided, why don't we do a little gardening while people are yard sailing? Because it had kind of slowed up a little bit. So my goal was I got to plant the begonias. Because another thing is that you don't want too much time lapsing because you don't want your flowers dying in the tray. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of us trying to save money on a garden. So time was another big asset that I had to use. When it wasn't raining, when it wasn't thunderstorming, I had to make sure that I was out there planting whenever I had a chance to. Another tip that I want to share is that when you're planting a plant directly into the dirt, when you dig the hole, I'll put some water at the bottom of the hole. And then I'll put the begonia or the plant in there. That way the roots are getting water in there. You want to make sure that everything's loosened up. The dirt's loosened up, the bottom of their roots are opened up so that they can start to spread and root and start to bloom. Now, the next day was sunny and a very comfortable temperature, so I knew that I had to get into this little corner section. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking the old roots out of the old pots from last year and also cleaning out the weeds. And you know what this is? A free gym membership. Yes, this is a good workout. Now, these right here, these are my daffodils that come up every year. And even long after the bloom is gone, if the leaves are still green, I won't cut it back until they turn more of a yellow, because what's happening is that the sun is hitting them and it's absorbing its nutrients that it needs to sprout for next year. So I'm just going to cut them back a little bit, and when they turn all yellow, I'll fully cut it back. And another reason why I wanted to create this video is because I feel like with the way prices are rising from groceries to rent, every little bit helps. And honestly, growing flowers on a budget makes me feel empowered. It reminds me that we can still enjoy the things we love without overspending. I don't need all new things, I just need a new mindset. And sometimes financial stability starts with small, quiet choices, like saying no to more stuff and yes to making the most of what we already have. Because look, there's still a ton of crap in this back shed. There are plenty of pots and home decor that we can reuse and enjoy and shop our hoarded stash. I don't need to run to the store to buy more things. This is my new shopper's high, which is shopping and using all the pieces that I once loved. I can clean this out. I can reuse it because the high is coming from saving money now instead of spending money. So even if I can save a few dollars here and there, it really matters because financial stability doesn't always come in a big dramatic change. Sometimes it comes from small, quiet decisions that stack up over time. And that's what this is, gardening on a budget. And all of these decisions are helping me create that financial stability for me and my family. I can't control the economy or the world around me, but I can control the baby steps that I take to care for myself, my space, in a way that honors my budget. And those little moments make me feel empowered. Now, what we're going to do with all these extra buckets is, we're going to go trash diving. What I do for the buckets to save money is I will take plastic containers and put them on the bottom as dirt filler because you don't need to use all that dirt to fill up a pot. Now, this is something I've done for 15 years as well. And putting the plastic on the bottom of the pots so that it's not using as much dirt does not affect the quality of the flowers. Each and every year, the flowers have bloomed and spread just as beautifully. So I don't want anybody worrying that this might affect the quality of the flower throughout the season as it grows. All right, we got to finish this out because it's been so rainy and I'm going to be doing this in between rainstorms. Yeah, I know, crazy. Now, I actually need 2 more pots. Now, I'm not buying any new pots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this old hanging pot from last year. I'm going to take off the parts on the top and I'm going to give it a really good rinsing and scrub down. Now, I didn't just need 1 pot. I actually needed 2 pots and this one's been sitting in the backyard all year round. You can tell a lot of the old paint's already chipped off, so I just got to give it a good rinsing because we're going to be spray painting them. And yes, admittedly, this spray paint has been sitting out here for a year. Yeah, that can was empty, but this one, it was actually pretty full. I'm a little embarrassed that I left it out all year, but that's all right. We're going to try it out and see if it still works, if the quality of the spray paint is still good. Now, in the garage, we still had spray paint in there too, in those similar colors. So we're going to pull them out and spray them in case the ones that sat outside don't look as nice. Now, this is the can that was in the garage, and I love this color because it's so vibrant. And I do use an outside Rust-Oleum type spray paint. Now, I'm just giving it coverage. I'm going to actually spray this twice, right? We do the base coat, we let it dry, and then we'll do a second coat. Now, this is the can that was left outside. So let's see how she lays. I gave her a good shaking, and surprisingly,
it didn't seem to affect the paint. Like, it seemed to be coming out normal as if it was stored in the garage, and it was giving really good coverage. And I love this light color. I think it's so beautiful. I was making sure that I was getting the top and the inside of the rim. I don't do all the way down because you're not going to see it. It's going to be filled with dirt. I was just making sure that I was giving it very good coverage. And overall, these pots look bright and beautiful, and I love how they came out. And I'm making sure that I'm putting all the spray cans back into the cabinet in the garage so that we're not leaving them out to the elements and I can use them for the next project. Now let's fill these new containers up. Now with these pots, I had to let them curate for 24 hours before I start putting dirt in them. And again, it's been rainy the past couple of days, so I'm kind of doing this in between rain showers. Now, I used up all the dirt that I had from last year. So I did have to buy one bag of dirt, which is fine because I actually still have to plant in the back as well. So I really have to get these plants planted. Like, they've been in the pot now for pretty much a month. And that's kind of what I was avoiding, but they'll be okay. They're not dead. They're just a little wilted. Some of them lost their bloom. We can fix this because we're planting them right now. We're going to give them water. They're going to root. It's going to be sunny after today. So it's going to be okay. We saved them just in time. And you'll see within a week that the blooms will come back like it did for the petunias in the beginning of this video. Now let's put the finishing touches on here. I'm putting my flamingo. That is from last year. Actually, it's a few years old and she's holding up really good. We're using our pot that we spray painted. I have this little butterfly accent that makes it pop. And now it's time to do the front garden. Now, the front garden is always pots because for some reason, I don't know the quality of the dirt, but flowers don't bloom. They die pretty quickly. I don't know why, but they do. And this is what it looks like. Now, I had time-lapsed me putting everything there, but I can't find that footage, so maybe it didn't go through. But look, we got this part done. This looks good. All the pots, we're reusing everything that we already have. This right here is very special because the 3 butterflies represent my 3 miscarriages. So maybe next year we'll retouch them because they're starting to fade. But that is very special and near and dear to my heart because I love gardening. I love the flowers. I just love being in the dirt. It's something that I'm passionate about. And this is what I love. And I loved that I'm getting a dopamine rush from using stuff that I already have. I didn't have to spend a ton of money to enjoy this beauty. Now, I want to make sure also that we're throwing stuff out right away. We're tossing it out. We don't need it. These were the pots that were broken and cracked. We're just going to take them to the curb immediately because we're finishing the task. I'm not leaving stuff out. Now, these trays, I'm actually not going to throw them out. I'm going to drop them off to this gentleman that lives in our town. Now, in our Facebook Townsgiving page, he gave away hundreds of vegetable plants. And he had so many trays, but he used them all up. So I thought, why don't I give him my trays so that he can keep planting? And yes, as you can see, he definitely has an eclectic aesthetic. And look, I'm here for it. I enjoy looking at all this stuff. So, I am a maximalist at heart. So I like looking at all of this stuff. And now we did it. We created our shabby chic garden using what we had, utilizing my birthday and Mother's Day to actually get flowers and not physical items, and honestly, just buying a bag of dirt. Now, I did not buy mulch. Mulch does make a difference, but I'm going to hold off on it because it honestly doesn't look that bad. Like, maybe we can just put a pin in it and just buy mulch for next year because I'm loving and enjoying everything about the garden. We used up what we had. For so long, I thought I needed to buy new things every year, but that wasn't true. What I really needed was a mindset shift, one where I saw the value in what I already had. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to start your frugal journey and to start enjoying all the beautiful things that you already have.